And just like that, we are back with another chapter, chapter 29 of the universe, according to Mugsy, and I am Mugsy the Creator. Welcome back, where we talk about current events, culture, and consciousness all day, every day. By that, I mean twice a week. What day is it? I don't even fucking know. Friday, April 26th, 2024. And oh boy, do we got a good one for you. Really? I don't know. We're going to see where this thing goes. We're going to see where this thing fucking goes. I was just doing some thinking and I was careful not to hurt myself. But, where am I at on Twitter? It's fucking crazy what I'm doing. I hope you guys all recognize that. All right. Because if you want to be a mentally healthy individual, what I realized about like 8 or 10 years ago is you need to get the fuck off social media. And then when you're a healthy individual for long enough and you watch the world fucking burn, you realize I got to go get everybody on social media, get them off social media. But it's so hard to do. I remember, I remember distinctly a time in my life when I was recognizing my technological skills were falling off a cliff very quickly. And it was shortly after college because I wasn't surrounded by people that were keeping me up to date on all the changes in technology and things like that. Um, but then suffice to say, you go another 10 years never having sent a tweet. I mean, I haven't fucking liked an Instagram post, sent a fucking Snapchat, joined a Facebook poking group in a fucking decade, at least over a decade. It's why I look so fucking healthy. It's why I'm fucking not as crazy as everybody else. But that was a long way of saying, dude, starting from scratch on the internet is so fucking hard. Trying to understand these algorithms and fucking all the little things that everybody else just naturally gets because they have other people to discuss the internet with. I don't have anybody that I could talk to that I could say, hey, this Twitter thing, like, how does this work? Why is everybody replying with a SpongeBob meme? I don't understand what's going on here. Or when somebody finally does like your content, apparently it's not a good idea to send them a message and say, hey, thank you for liking that. What did you think about it? There's just so much to learn. And that being said, what do we start? Fucking December, January? I forget when this fucking podcast started. But we're making some significant progress. I'm not going to lie. It may not sound significant to you, but fuck you guys. You guys probably have fucking friends and people to talk to. Let's see here. So I think the last time we talked about this, it was 14 followers. Bitch, I'm up to 67. And I got a friend called Vlad the Alien. And me and him talk about UFOs together. And it's fucking awesome. So, anyways, it's pretty fucking nuts what we're doing here. And it's, I don't know. I wanted to have something to clip so that when we go on the Joe Rogan experience in, a week, 2 weeks, a month, who knows how long it's going to take, then you guys will have this to clip. Remembering, hey, remember that time Mugsy had 67 followers? I have no idea if you can fucking see this. But yeah, there was a time when even fucking I only had 67 people following me. And just for the record, that's going to go down because some of those women are definitely bots. But what can you say? I'm fucking figuring it out. I'm, I'm not going to lie. I'm surprised. Going from 13 to fucking 30 was so ridiculously hard. There's just little things. And I found this one Twitter that Kind of like this guy that kind of explains it to you. I probably should have just gone on YouTube and did this a long time ago, but I'm a fucking moron. I'm a fucking idiot. Okay, guys? I've been trying to explain to you. If at any time during my fucking rambling rant of a solo podcast until I can convince a fucking guest to come on, I sound like I'm making a coherent point, I want you to recognize that I'm a fucking idiot. And that means you could make some coherent points too. So why don't you do that with your fucking life? But what was I saying? Oh, I had this brilliant idea that I'm going to be the first person on Twitter to get a bajillion followers while following nobody. Now, it's a good idea in theory. The problem was I didn't understand the algorithm. And because the reason that I'm trying to grow on Twitter and nowhere else is because Elon Musk released the fucking algorithm. So somebody that understands algorithms can break it down, and dummies like me can figure out how to get somebody to follow you on the internet. That's how this whole fucking thing works. That's why I'm trying to grow on Twitter and nowhere else. So I had this bright idea that I wasn't going to follow anybody and then I'd be able to get followers that way. But nobody was seeing my shit. I hope there's people at home laughing because it's funny to me. And, anyways, I started following some people and I got like double the followers in a couple days. So for what is it? It's the end of April, almost the full first quarter and into the second quarter. I didn't know you had to follow other people. And that was a big part of getting likes. So we're fucking learning here. We're learning, boys and girls. We are learning. There's some good shit out here that nobody fucking saw. Um, What did I want to talk? I recorded a video yesterday that I want to put out on social media, but I'm still figuring out how to fucking do that. And it was me talking about, I guess this will be a good jumping off point for the conversation. But yes, Twitter, I don't know how to fucking use it. So if anybody listens to this, I would love some pointers or like an intern to talk to. If you're an intern and you work at a social media company and you could just like point me in the right fucking direction. Did you guys know that you need little thumbnails that should be pretty cool to get people to click on your shit? I just need like little pointers to say, "Hey dummy, this is how this whole thing works." So, if you got nothing better going on, you want to help out a pseudo intellectual, Mugsy the Creator, I will reward you with answers to whatever questions you have about the universe. You can be the first fucking one to submit a question online if you can help me out with getting more than 11 views on YouTube, Rumble, and Instagram. You boost my social. I will give you 3 questions and we will take this discussion in whatever direction you want. There you go. That's a challenge to the people. 8.5 minutes into this goddamn podcast. So I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I hope you guys get a good laugh about it. Now, what was the post that I recorded yesterday? Fucking the world. All right. I understand how the universe works. Why? Because I spent a lot of time figuring out how the world works. And now that no longer tickles my fucking fancy because it's so easy. And once you figure it out, it's just like, oh, duh. And all right. So I utilized a story from the 1900s that everybody's heard of. And if this fucking man can write a children's story in 1900, then you are all capable of recognizing this principle here today in the year 2024. And that is, if you go on a journey of self-exploration, you will find yourself powerful beyond your wildest imagination. That is the story of the Wizard of Oz. It's a children's story that was turned into fucking novels and plays and movies, and it's pervasive throughout our culture. The Wizard of Oz is a great example of American culture and our ignorance to what is right in front of us. Because the story of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz is a story of a young woman facing her fears, following her own love, the yellow brick road, and conquering all of the obstacles in her way so that it would be revealed to her that the Wizard of Oz, the wizard of this magical place, Oz, is really not a wizard of all at all. He is not a wizard. He has no magical powers. And this place, Oz, is really an illusion of our own creation based on our ephemeral experiences. The little experiences we have every day that we pay no mind to that create this reality that we live in. And I bring that up as an example of the culture today because when you hear that story and you recognize what's actually going on, what you see is when you become an observer of your own consciousness, you actually have the power to create your own reality. But you can only do that if you go on your internal journey, whatever your fucking yellow brick road of love is. Okay? Because a lot of people in the present day are stuck. They're stuck because they've gotten to the end of the yellow brick road by following whatever string that they pulled on. It was their love of education. It was their love of philosophy. It was their love of finance, economics. I don't care how you got to the end of your yellow brick road and you saw that all of this was an illusion of someone else's creation and you were once living in somebody else's reality. A lot of these people want to go back and they want to fix Oz and they want to fix all of the wrongs that were committed on the Munchkins by the evil flying monkeys and the Wicked Witch of the West. But why? Why are you going back into the wizard's creation, this magical land of Oz, to fix something that is so fucking broken because it's intended to be broken? It is a creation of Oz's reality. And as long as you choose to live in that fucking reality, it will encapsulate everything you do. So stop going backwards and trying to fix systems that are broken intentionally and start to move forward and create a reality of whatever the fuck it is that you want to do. Okay? Because I got fucking 67 followers on Twitter. But that's one of the most important lessons of our culture today. Okay, why? Why are you going backwards? It's all broken. Now the only way forward is to create a reality that you want to exist in. Okay, pumpkin? That's how this shit works. That's how this whole game is played. The reason that I know that is because I didn't get bogged down in living in somebody else's reality. I didn't take a job and have a career to impress somebody else. I don't care about those things. I wanted to be intelligent and I wanted to understand the world around me. And that is how the world works. Now, if you want to understand the universe and how the universe works, then I would just fucking observe. I want you to watch me. I want you to see how I utilize my energy, frequency, and vibration to create a reality that doesn't exist today, does only in my own mind, and in the mind of my 67 Twitter followers, and in the mind of my 7 Patreon fans. Because as those numbers increase, so do my reality. And then I really do understand the fucking universe and how it works. Because I've been successful in my endeavor. And then I really can teach everybody else how to create their own realities. Right? That is the power of community. That is the power of network effects. None of these things need social media. You can do it all by word of mouth. And believe me, I'm fucking trying. But there's no reason for me to avoid a tool that could be very useful to me in promoting whatever the fuck this is, my ideology, my reflections on current events, culture, and consciousness, my discoveries, the things that I've discovered about myself, about this world, about this universe, about this reality. All right? That's how all this shit works. Oh, what did we cover? We covered a little bit of fucking reality. We covered a little bit of culture, right? Let's talk. Let's call all that part our culture section and let's talk consciousness. So, because I was able to remove myself from this oppressive view of the world that was being thrust upon me through the media, um, influencers, celebrities, movies, television shows, um, popular opinion, newspapers, things that appeared to be informational in nature. I avoided all of those by just getting the fuck off the internet. And that gave me the ability to go after information I was curious about and find people that were talking about it in an intelligent way without the obfuscation of other people's opinions. Because people who love what they do talk about it intelligently. And you don't need to look at a list of their credentials to understand that they know what they're talking about. And I put that theory to the test for about a decade. And I believe I've learned a fucking lot. And if I've learned nothing, well, then I have an unbelievable opinion on the world and how it works. And when I get up every day, I'm a fucking superhero in my own movie. Why? Why is that the case? How come I have the ability to do that and everybody else in this world is so fucking confused and so goddamn lonely and so sad and so fucking unfulfilled? That is because my existence is tied to an actual belief in how this whole fucking thing works. All of it. The world, the universe, religion, science, mathematics, the intersection of all of these things. And because of that, I formulated an opinion on the world that is based on energy, frequency, and vibration. It is based on the fact that all of the intelligent design that I see around me in nature could not just be random. We must exist in something. And as I have observed the world around me and gotten to know myself, I see that the times that we are in right now in this reality are fucking turbulent. They are more turbulent than they ever have been before. Now, how can I understand that and know it to be true? What is my steelman argument? so that I can say, absolutely, these are the most turbulent times. And I can be certain that at least in the last couple thousand years, we have never faced more turbulent times. That is because I understand technology. Okay? When I was a kid, technology increased every 6 months. Now that technology increases almost weekly, some maybe more than weekly. It doubles, which means that the rate of change has increased exponentially. That is why the volatility in our culture, in our consciousness, and our current events is seemingly flapping in the wind. And nobody can grab a hold on to anything that seems true and worth fighting for in this fucking reality. Okay? Now, if that is the case, and these are the most turbulent times that humanity has ever faced, well, then of course I'm here for it. Because I know myself. And that is a powerful way to wake up in the morning and see the world and understand that you have no effect on it, right? Or little effect on it, unless you're a pretty fucking important person. Now, because of this, I tried to reach out to a lot of perceivably important people, people with power, people with money in this world, not this universe. But what I realized was they were the weakest men among us. And it was because they were weak, they were afforded all of these perceived benefits of society because in some way, shape, or form, they were being controlled. So for the last 10 years, my existence has just been to observe and not fall into the trap of consumerism, of social media, of negative energy that can draw us down into this idea of commercialism. This idea that I need to be somebody else's something to be anything in this world, when that's not the case. Perhaps we live at a time when the strongest people among us have the courage to sit and be still and wait for their motherfucking moment in time to explain their vision of how they see the world. And I think that's what this might be. Because there was something before us and there is something after us. And the only thing that ties us to those two people is our soul. And I believe I chose to be here. I chose every person in my life to teach me a lesson. I chose every job I ever took. I chose every job I didn't take. I chose every person I dated. Chose every person I didn't date. I chose my friends. And I chose those I didn't want to surround myself with, so that I would have the freedom to go on that journey for the last 10 years and recognize that we all chose here to be here in this moment for a reason. E equals MC motherfucking squared. There is only one time, and that time is now. There is no past. There is no future. There is only the present. Our brain perceives these things as past and future so that we don't go fucking insane living our daily lives. We have this timeline that is created, but that timeline only exists in your fucking mind. That's quantum physics. We've been talking about this stuff. I think you guys are ready to understand it. All of it's tied together. Everything. Every fucking moment in your life is a lesson, and the universe is talking to you, trying to tell you to do something. I don't know what the fuck that is for most of you. But at this stage of the game, telling this to 67 people on the internet or 7 people on Patreon feels like the most important thing that I could be doing in the entire world at this moment. Because somebody out there needs to fucking hear it. Because I am a nobody. I am not incredibly intelligent. I know that because I've seen these people. And I know that I am on the same level as them because I continually recognize that I know fucking nothing. And every time I'm faced with a fucking problem, I start from square one, assuming that I know nothing. And now that I've done that for a decade, I can take a look at the fucking chalkboard and I can start connecting some fucking dots. Because I'm a fucking dummy. And you people needed to hear that. I don't know why. How the fuck did you find me? How? Why'd you need to hear this from me, a nobody? A nobody. Somebody out there needs to hear this. They need to understand that each of us have something that we're supposed to fucking do. I don't know what it is. But you have to talk to yourself to figure that out. So, anyways, my view of the world. I believe that we were all put into this fucking body at this moment in space and time to help achieve something that only we can figure out and contribute to. And every obstacle in our life is a lesson from the universe, trying to remind us to get on the right path. And the only way to do that is to get to know ourselves and conquer our fears. Because my biggest fear was that the path to hell is paved with good intentions. My biggest fear was that one of you guys is going to fucking hear something I have to say and make an altercation to your life because of it. And that would lead you astray. But I can't do that. All right? Lots of people out there may be well-intentioned and leading you astray. But I can't be. Because this is what I love to do. This is my motherfucking yellow brick road. I like explaining this shit to you people. So my guess is there's a reason for that. But the only way we're going to get to play that out is if we get to continue having these conversations over a long enough timeline and we reach enough people that maybe this message resonates with them for some fucking reason. I don't know why. But that's what we're trying to do here. That's my outlook on fucking life. This is the most important thing that I could be doing at this moment in time. And I don't fucking know why. I don't know why. But taking back your consciousness is the first step. Because I truly don't give a shit about any of this fame, this fortune, this bullshit that's going to get in the way of allowing me to get back off the internet and live a life in solitude away from you fucks. But first, I need you all to stop being miserable pieces of shit. Life doesn't suck. It's fucking beautiful. And you're here for a reason. And if your job sucks, then quit. Every day, your body's telling you there's something wrong and you're not listening. You're taking a fucking pill. You're having a fucking drink. You're eating a cheeseburger. You're doing something to prevent your body from allowing you to tell yourself and feel the emotions to say, hey, we're off course here somewhere. But, anyways, I digress. What else? Current events. Let's talk current events. And I wish we could take some of the fucking heaviness out of the conversation, but we can't because I graduated from Emory University. And unfortunately, right now there are events going on Emory's campus that are quite fucking insane. I was on campus from 2009, January 2010 through June of 2012. And Emory is a beautiful campus. If you've never taken a look at it, it's based in Atlanta, Georgia. They bought the area code. Technically, it's in North Decatur, North Druid Hills, which is one of the nicest suburbs of Atlanta. It's only 5 to like 7 miles outside of the city, so it is close to downtown, but they did purchase that area code. But it's Spanish-style architecture and a beautiful southern, charming weather, natural environment. It's beautiful. And they are in the midst of a bunch of riots, protests for Palestine, Israel. And it's remarkable to see. I was an RA, so I lived right on campus in Dobbs Hall. Shout out Dobbs fucking Hall. I love that place. But that's right in the heart of the campus, right over by the quad. Where the protests were taking place, where there have been a massive number of arrests of students, teachers. I'm an econ graduate with a degree in financial markets. Wait, what am I? I don't fucking know what I am. I'm an economics major with a degree in macroeconomics with a concentration in financial markets or something like that. That doesn't matter. The point is, it's a fucking great, beautiful campus, and there's been a bunch of people, must be activists, because I shouldn't say must be. I shouldn't say anything because I don't know what the fuck has been going on. I've only been following this lightly by seeing videos on social media, but it's indicative, and it really hits home, of a much larger thing that's going on across college campuses. And that's this Israel-Palestine thing that we have discussed, and all of these college students are being used as pawns. All right, useful idiots. No other way. But it's particularly interesting to see when you fucking know the people. This economics professor who was arrested. I don't specifically know her, but she lives in a bubble because Emory is a bubble, because every college campus is a bubble. It is a bubble where reality doesn't exist. It's a bubble filled with misinformation, propaganda, and ideologies that are impressed upon impressionable young people who have energy and would like to utilize their energy for change, positive change. Now, how any of these students could have any idea what's going on in Israel or Palestine without serious, high level discussions over a long scale time frame. However, it doesn't take a genius to see that there's a genocide. There was a genocide. I usually don't like to utilize that word because it has so much negative connotations associated with it, but Maybe it's time we start talking about those negative connotations. Um, because a controlled murder of any group of people, even seemingly um, to eradicate a terrorist group, is no more or less a controlled killing of that group of people. Um, you don't have to go too far down the social media rabbit hole to find out that October 7th was a horrific event that Israel knew about beforehand. Um, Hamas is a horrible terrorist organization that Israel has been propping up for more than 2 decades. Um, Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, was going to be voted out of office before the events of October 7th. You should understand that the people of Israel very much are against the murder of the Palestinian people. You should understand that Jews of the world have united to say, not in our name will you murder these people, the Palestinians. Okay? This game of socioeconomic control, divide and conquer tactics between people of different religions, colors, ideologies is not a new game. It's not new in Israel. It's not new in Palestine. It's not new in the United States of America. It's not new in 2024. It's not new in 1776. None of these things are new. College children will not be able to understand these concepts without help from actual people who have wrestled with the difficulty of the subject matter personally for a long time. I'm not saying that I can do it either. But what I'm saying is when you start seeing economics professors getting arrested on campus, it's because they have no clue what reality looks like. They certainly don't see it when it comes and it plops its ass down on their quadrangle. Okay? This shit ain't going to be safe anymore. And it's coming to a college campus near you. They are going to utilize this tactic to clamp down the means of control on the youth, right? College campuses, there's going to be a lot more security, I'm sure, a lot more policing of thought because we wouldn't want anybody to think anything crazy like the United States is helping to fund a fucking genocide. Oh, this is going to get taken out off YouTube and Rumble and everything else. Who gives a shit? I don't care. Follow me on Patreon, follow me on Twitter. Hopefully I don't get kicked off those. And if not, I'll find another way to talk to the people. But what I'm saying is the current events section of this podcast is waking up to the fact that there's a real issue going on. And if you're a young person in America, it should be fucking real evident to you. So do not get sucked into being used as a pawn in somebody else's war games. And make no mistake about it. That's what you are. If you want to utilize your time and energy efficiently, work on understanding the problems, recognizing that there's nothing you can do or say in this moment as an 18 to 22-year-old that is going to change the outlook and events of what's going on, unless you are maybe connected to somebody powerfully politically. The only thing you can do is focus on yourself, getting to know yourself, your consciousness, finding your motherfucking yellow brick road, finding whatever it is you love to do, and continuing to do that for probably a long time. Probably a long fucking time. But if you do that, you will become a conscious observer of your own consciousness. You'll get to pick the reality you live in. You won't get dragged down by these stories on social media. You won't fucking fall for these traps about going backwards and trying to fix things that exist in somebody else's reality. You'll get busy carrying on the daily fucking struggle and effort it is to control your own energy, frequency, and vibration and create your own fucking reality. And maybe if you get good enough at it, one day you can hope to fucking influence somebody else. But until then, if you're trying to go out there and fucking be an influencer, be careful because you are carrying around the negative karma of all of the bad advice and ideas you put out there in the universe that fucking people listen to. And you're going to remember it was you. They're going to remember it was fucking you that gave them the idea to fucking eat McDonald's every day of their life or whatever. We're 40 minutes in. I've been talking to myself. I'm a crazy person. And I'm allowing you to see me be a crazy fucking person. Because I'm not crazy to me. I'm not. And all you got to do to be like me is be just as fucking crazy. All right. So anybody take me up on my fucking offer. We still got interviews coming. We got the fucking dingo from down under. We got my Indian buddy. I'll get him on the horn at some point. But until then, try and fucking make sure you get to know yourself. You pay attention to your own consciousness. You observe what's going through on in your own mind. And those negative thoughts that aren't going to move you anywhere forward in your life, let them go for now. Because if you ever want to control them, first you have to learn how to control yourself. That's the secret to all of this. Take back your consciousness, people. I love you. I'm out.